Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your news edition. These are the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, sent a condolence message to the family of the brilliant cardiology professor Rachid Bougharbal, who devoted his career to saving lives and training doctors. Algiers is getting ready to welcome the continent's delegations taking part in the Intra-African Trade Fair, an event that makes our capital the heart of the African trade. The Zionist entity intensifies its attacks as several Palestinians have been murdered, and the office of the correspondent of the Algerian public television has been savagely attacked. The situation in France unveils a political and economical failure. The Bayrou government is on the edge of an unprecedented crisis. At the end of this edition, we will make you discover an amazing crafter, a woman who preferred artisanal cheese over industrial mass production. Welcome back. Following the death of the former member of the Council of the Nation, the Professor Rachid Bougharbal, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, offered his condolences to the family of the deceased, and I quote, "It is with deep sorrow and grief that I received the news of the death of the Professor Rachid Bougharbal, a brother and a friend. I extend my deepest condolences and sincere sympathy to all the medical and scientific family. Algeria has lost one of its valiant children, an eminent doctor who dedicated his life to public health and medical training, especially in the sector of cardiology, and particularly when he was the head of the cardiology service in the specialized hospital, Dr. Maouch Mohandam. I pray Allah to bestow his vast mercy upon his noble soul. To God we belong, and to him we shall return." And Algiers is preparing to welcome the continent's delegations taking part in the Intra-African Trade Fair. This fourth edition aims to be a truly strategic forum, an event designed to transform the African free trade area into a concrete reality. And with a strong political will, the prospects for success are great. Details with Daniel Bahri.
Beyond the exhibition, the ambition is clear: harmonize trade rules, simplify exchanges, and strengthen African supply chains. On the agenda, industrial investments, infrastructure projects, and digital payment platforms. The fair is also a gateway for small and medium-sized enterprises, opening access to new markets and nearly 1.4 billion consumers. Conferences, forums, and contract signings will bring new energy to intra-African trade, still far below its potential. And two flagship spaces stand out: the Creative Africa Nexus and the Africa Motor Show, highlighting innovation, culture, and industrial value chains.
Quatrième édition est Boosting Intra-African Trade.
The themes of this fourth edition focus on innovation, value chains, and industrialization. While Africa is not yet among the global leaders in innovation collaboration, it's precisely through stronger cooperation in research and development that the continent can accelerate progress. Such collaboration will be key to driving innovation and enabling Africa to climb the global rankings in most innovative regions. Hosting the fair in Algiers shows Algeria's ambition to be a key hub for African integration. Its strategic location makes it a vital connector for trade and investment. And through the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, Algeria confirms its leadership in the African Continental Free Trade Area and its will to turn agreements into reality. Algeria is also taking concrete actions to consolidate the African market and foster continental integration. For example, it's working to accelerate the Arab market while engaging in dialogue with its African neighbors and supporting African-led initiatives. This demonstrates Algeria's strong and consistent commitment to the continent.
L'Algérie a carrément renforcé son engagement en faveur de l'intégration économique.
Algeria has clearly reinforced its commitment to African economic integration. These initiatives aim to improve infrastructure, develop trade corridors, and facilitate commerce across the region. 1 week to build bridges, 1 week to strengthen confidence in local capabilities and to shape the continent's economic future. For a week and beyond, Algiers becomes the heart of the African trade.
The IATF, a promising space to boost the energy sector in Africa, represents a significant opportunity for Sonelgaz Group, which aims to expand its presence and build new partnerships. Najah Tiyar with the details.
Sonelgaz is expanding its horizons even larger, and that is by building on its strong economic foundation, energy resources, and recognized expertise. The company now is no longer limited to the national market, but it's crossing borders to establish itself as a key player in energy development in Africa. An agreement was signed with the Director General of West African Power Pool, a regional organization that brings together 14 African countries and specializes in managing electrical networks. A second agreement followed with the Electricity Regulatory Authority, responsible for managing the electrical system in these 14 countries. This is a fundamental step that reflects the shared commitment of all members to make Sonelgaz the driving force behind genuine energy development in Africa. For Algeria, integration into the African market represents a strategic choice. The group has taken on this responsibility, committing to support the African countries in the fields of electricity and gas through the export of electric energy. As part of this regional integration effort, Sonelgaz is implementing multiple electrical interconnection projects with neighboring countries to strengthen common energy security. This ambition also relies on training and knowledge transfer through its technical institutes to support the development of new African skills. The company also aims to strengthen its regional industrial presence in the continental market by exporting electrical and gas equipment manufactured in Algeria to markets across the continent. We have carried out several export operations of turbines and electrical motors to Tunisia, as well as charging stations for electric vehicles to Libya. Our upcoming participation in the IATF will allow us to showcase high-quality products, recognized for their reliability and technical sophistication. This event will also provide a favorable setting for forming new partnerships and expanding the company's presence in the African market.
ونقتحم السوق الإفريقية.
By relying on a strategy focused on attracting foreign investment and opening up to external markets, Sonelgaz intends to strengthen its role as a leader in renewable energies and to develop large-scale exports across the African continent.
The Zionist occupation army has intensified its assault on Gaza, particularly in the central region, where it is seeking full control. Since this morning, 10 Palestinians have been killed by Zionist airstrikes. Continuous bombardments are forcing thousands to flee under inhuman conditions, while hundreds of thousands remain trapped. Wissam Abu Zaid and Rani Al-Bahri with the details.
Gaza has once again awakened under bombardment. In the north and east of the city, the Zionist strikes have flattened entire residential blocks. Buildings collapse as explosions echo everywhere. Thousands of residents are fleeing west, carrying their children in desperate humanitarian conditions. No water, no food, only makeshift shelters. Look at the state of this old woman. She has lost her family. She has nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. I'm sick. I can neither walk nor run. The strikes have left dozens dead and many more injured. Hospitals overwhelmed and short of medicine struggle to cope. Among the wounded, a young girl cries for her brother as medical teams fight to save lives. Even Gaza's western areas, once declared safe zones, are now under attack. Heavy missiles destroy homes, killing women, children, and entire families. We were bombed during the night. All the martyrs here are innocent civilians and displaced people. There is no security, no protection. We have nowhere to go. The attack continues across Gaza, turning every corner of the strip into a battlefield. The Red Cross president warns a mass evacuation is impossible with infrastructure destroyed and food, water, medicine in desperate shortage. The population has nowhere left to turn.
And the office of our correspondent in Gaza was targeted by Zionist artillery shots on Saturday afternoon. Thankfully, Wissam Abu Zaid and his colleagues survived this barbaric attack. France is on the edge of a major social and political crisis as nationwide strikes, including transport shutdowns and air traffic controller walkouts starting September 18th, threaten to paralyze the country and deepen instability. Najah Tiyar with the details.
The social climate is turning explosive in France, and the main trade unions have called for a nationwide strike and demonstrations on September 18th, and that is to voice their opposition to the budgetary austerity deemed unbearable for the households. The organizations are calling for a nationwide day of action on September 18th, 2025, including strikes and demonstrations. We urge all workers to mobilize on a massive scale to bring about real change. These same demands apply to the transport sector, which is also calling for a massive strike. Air traffic controllers, for their part, have already issued a strike notice starting on September 18th. Faced with this wave of mobilization, the French employers are sounding the alarm, and with stalled economic growth and fragile businesses, the movement of the French enterprises fears that the strike will worsen the loss of competitiveness and send a negative signal to investors. The constitutional tools seem to lead to the same outcome, another dissolution and an early presidential election. The real problem is finding majorities, and the constitution can't fix that. On the streets, the French are expressing deep concern about the future. The rise in prices, insecurity, and tax uncertainty are fueling the anxiety, particularly among the young people and the middle class. Adding to this economic and social tension is a growing political instability. The government, weakened by the lack of a clear majority in the assembly, is struggling to push through its reforms and risks not surviving the vote of confidence on September 8th. Obviously, I'm going to vote against Bayreuth's confidence motion, and the same goes for the members of the unsubmissive group, for one simple reason: we need to change the economic approach completely. I wonder if Bayreuth is out of touch with reality, or if he is actually planning his own downfall, just so he can later say, "I told you so." François Bayreuth, I'm in a good position to say this. He is a liar. He deceived the socialists a year ago, making them countless promises and keeping none. Thursday, September 18th, is expected to be a turning point for social unrest in France due to the growing political turmoil and the widespread public frustration that are fueling the concerns of a major upheaval. And an institutional crisis is now a real possibility. Some analysts warn that the country could soon enter a period of uncertainty unlike anything seen in decades.
The 11th edition of the Hadi Al-Arwah program ended on Saturday night. The final prime was held at Jam' al-Jazair. This edition was marked by an international participation with an Arab and African supervision. And we wrap up our edition with a success story. Malika, a passionate woman who dreams of making the world discover the artisanal cheese and the Algerian culinary heritage. In addition to that, she is also an entrepreneur and a trainer. In a world dominated by industrial production, where meals are often chemically treated and mechanically processed, Malika has chosen a different path over mass production, crafting cheese the artisanal way, natural, wholesome, and rooted in heritage.
L'industrialisation ne pourrait pas apporter que du bon.
Industrialization does not only bring good things. Usually when we focus on quantity, we lose quality. The product's quality depends on the chosen products and on the recipes. We use organic products with no chemical additives nor preservative products.
Pas de conservateurs.
It's not just about making cheese. It's an art, a lifestyle that our ancestors adopted long ago, and that is making a strong comeback right now.
Nos ancêtres ont sauvegardé des recettes.
Our ancestors kept cheese recipes such as the ancestral Jubin al-Qfas in the highlands like in Pousada, and the very ancient and homemade tekmariet in the Mzab region. People eat it while drinking tea. We mix salted and sweet food. The Algerian cuisine is very ancient.
La cuisine algérienne ne date pas d'hier. C'est quelque chose qui est vieux comme le monde.
Whether you have specific dietary needs or are on a diet, Malika offers a unique range of cheeses to meet your expectations.
Bon, on ne fabrique pas tous les fromages sans sel, mais à la demande, quand il y a quelqu'un qui vous dit...
We don't make all kinds of cheese without salt. It depends on the needs of the client. But when we receive orders, we prepare them. We have already made and salted Gouda and Camembert. It's not easy to make a cheese without salt because it contributes to the natural preservation, but it's always a pleasure to meet the expectations of our customers.
C'est longue durée, mais on le fait pour faire plaisir. Quand c'est quelqu'un qui est malade ou là, ben on le fait et ça nous fait plaisir.
Once ready, these delicious cheeses are packaged and kept cool before being delivered to stores so consumers can enjoy them. A few years ago, Malika didn't know she would take this path. Today, she's working to make her product available throughout Algeria in the near future, and perhaps elsewhere in the world. A success story and a role model. And with this, we come to the end of our edition. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. Have a good night.